Waking up with you for the thousandth time. Sipping coffee and juice, reading the New York Times. Yeah. You told me I'm the only one, but now you think you've had your fun. You hope I had a good time. Goodbye, we're done. I got you inside my head, playing every moment over and over again. I thought we'd survive instead. You're a heartbreaker, and now I'm broken. Waking up with him before the sun. We pour coffee and then read the Chicago Sun. Yeah. He tells me that I've changed his life, and now he wants me as his wife. Well, we had a good run, was fun. Goodbye. I still got you inside my head, playing every moment over and over again. I thought we'd survive instead. You're making heartbreakers of the heartbroken. You're making heartbreakers of the heartbroken. You know, he was a good man. I should have warned him. I should have warned him that I'm an imposter. How does it feel siring so many monsters?
Hey, Jim. Good to see you. Welcome in. Nice. Hey, Savage. 13 months. Thank you so much, sir.
And all I am.
All right. It is Thursday. It is Thursday evening. Oh my goodness. Here we are again. Welcome to the TTRPG Theater. I am your host, Rob, otherwise known as Phantom NJ. Welcome in, everybody. Why is my window not the way it's supposed to be? That's always fun. Did Zoom change its... Oh, well, because I shouldn't have had video and effects up. There we go. It's a professional program here. I swear. We are all professionals. Well, you know. Me, no, we're not professional at all. Oh, man. Anyway, we do have the giveaway going. Exclamation point ticket to enter. We have a $10 gift card from Trollord Games. Good for any digital products off their website. Trollord Games is a sponsor of this channel. And I will remember to actually check in the chat box before I type. There we go. Makers of Castle Crusades, Amazing Adventures, and Codex of Erd, and other fine products. Please check them out. Good group of guys if you ever go to a convention. And if you're ever at a gaming convention, do make sure to stop at the booth. They're really good people. What on earth is... Okay, I have a hat that apparently is somehow managing to get the attention of my camera every once in a while. That's fun. This is great. Happy Thursday. So yeah, I was searching. I was gonna just do like a put up an AMA type thing for this week. And of course today, there is the bad news from the music world, especially if you are a kid who grew up in the '80s, regarding Bonnie Tyler. It's yeah. So I figured, good time for that title. Tiffany Rose Nickel, how are you? Thank you so much for stopping. And I know you have such a massively busy schedule. I really, really appreciate every time that you're able to drop in. Good to see you. I'm good. I'm little stressed, trying to get things done, and you do a lot. I really do appreciate it. Um, Going out tomorrow to Western PA. Going to be in the Pittsburgh area visiting my nieces for their birthday. Their birthday is in another week or so, but this was the week I was able to make it. So this is the weekend I'm going. So it's going to be a good time. We're going to go see some fireworks, take them out to dinner. They already know what their presents are, and they're all ecstatic about it. So I'm thrilled about that. You know, I get to spoil them. I get to be the uncle who spoils them. So it's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good. I can't, they're getting older. They're not kids anymore. Jesus, it's killing me. Hey, Kern, good to see you. But yeah, so I've been like trying to get stuff done. I've got laundry in, need to get that flipping. I've promised myself that I will get everything packed and put in the car tonight so that tomorrow when I wake up, I can just need to get myself, purdied up a bit. Well, at least purdied up enough to get on the road and then get on the road and hopefully be on the road by no later than 11 a.m. Get to the Pittsburgh area sometime around 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Hey, Curtis and Touch of Evil, my Uso, good to see you, Brad. Good. And of course, with Curtis, this is required. Oh yeah, it's just every time I have a chance to like sit down, it's like all right now this feels good, and then it's getting back up, and there's all that jazz going on. And then of course there's the 10,000 other things I think that I should be doing at the same time, which things that need to get done. I still need to figure out. I've got a game that I'm trying to schedule with Amanda and Gianna, Show Me the Dice, and Cherry Blossom, because I want to bring those characters back because they're two characters everybody freaking loved from their last session. Nice. You know Cyberpunk Red, Brad? Oh, you know, uh, I've done Promanti Brothers quite enough. As a matter of fact, when my brother was living in just southwest of the city, the hotel that I would stay at had a Promanti Brothers in the parking lot. And now they've been going to. There's apparently one in West Virginia, just over the border that they like a lot. So we might do that again. It's all about where the girls want to go. It's their birthday. Like if they want to go somewhere nice, I'll take them all somewhere nice. If not, we'll end up going to Promanti Brothers again, and I will convince them once again that yes, we are having dessert because why the hell not? That is okay. All right, you win. You met Mr. Rogers. You just won at life. I mean, uh, yeah. Basically, it's like met Mr. Rogers. It's while in school. It's like yeah, and then I had tea with Bob Ross, and what is going on? Oh my goodness, that is something else. Really? That is cool. That is awesome. Okay. All right. Now you're just showing off, sir. Now you're showing off. I don't have. I mean, I've met famous people before, but nothing like that. Hey, Jay, let's get Jay a shout out. There we go. We will be rating into Jay's game tonight after we are done here. So, of course, please do stick around. And again, we do have the giveaway going, $10 giveaway for Troller Games digital products. Exclamation point ticket will get you an entry. Pittsburgh is a great little town. I like in terms of cities that I've been to. I do like Pittsburgh. I've had the opportunity to go to numerous Pirates games for starters. I've walked a bit of the city. I've gone to a couple hockey games here, though both hockey games that I attended were at the old Igloo before the new arena went up. So I have not been to the new, well, not even new anymore. It's been there for 10 years now or so. But yeah, it's I've been to the museum a couple of times with the kids, and Pittsburgh is basically a city with a small town vibe. Is the best way I can think of it. You don't feel like you are in this major metropolis when you're there. And I mean, people can argue. I love baseball parks. I will wax poetic about baseball parks. What, I'm being kind about Pittsburgh? No, sir. I've spent enough time in Pittsburgh. I'm not. This isn't. I visited once and I happened to have a good time while I was there. I put in a lot of time in Pittsburgh. Unless you're talking about your show. Well, in that case, but it's the a funny story about the Sidney Crosby thing. Actually, was an encounter with me and my brother went to the Pirates, not the Pirates, Penguins game. And the first one we went to, or the second one we went to, there were two guys wearing Crosby and Malkin jerseys, and they were two brothers, and we happened to be at the same bar, and we walked up to the arena, and we got to our seats, and my brother had bought me because the Penguins were playing the Devils. My brother surprised me with tickets right on the glass, right at the blue line, actually. And looked over to our left, and maybe 15, 20 seats to our left were the two brothers that we were just drinking with at the bar. For ballparks, there is no better view than sitting behind home plate and it's anywhere behind home. Really, any place on home plate or even remotely close to home plate, sitting in Pittsburgh, because it's like a damn postcard. It is hard to explain just how gorgeous that the whole entire view is. It's perfectly placed. The ballpark is small too. I think it's only like 37 or 38,000 people for the ballpark. Though these days, now that most of the ballparks are like 42, 43,000, it's not quite as small. Oracle Park in San Francisco. See, Oracle Park in San Francisco is I've been I've been outside the door of Oracle Park multiple times, looking at it, and yeah, I imagine being inside. I've been to San Francisco, I think, on like 3 or 4 different occasions, And on not a single one of those occasions have the Giants been in town. Because I swear to you, if the Giants were in town for any of those occasions, I would have found a way into the ballpark. I don't care. Whatever it took, I would have found a way into the damn ballpark. And yeah, it's a beautiful park. Everything, even on TV, it looks beautiful. And you've got the bay beyond it, and the ways the walls are. Pittsburgh, when you're sitting behind sitting behind home plate in Pittsburgh, the ballpark itself is gorgeous, and then just beyond, just beyond left center field, you can see the Roberto Clemente Bridge. The famous yellow, that yellow golden, well, really more yellow than anything, Pittsburgh Bridge is going across the river, and then the skyline is just right there, and it is so damn picturesque. It's ridiculous. It's just there's, I mean, there are other ballparks where if it wasn't for the view that I might like better. I mean, I absolutely adore Citi Field. I think the Mets ballpark is absolutely freaking outstanding. The only problem is it's really on the wrong side of Manhattan, and it's too far from Manhattan, so you can't do anything with the Manhattan skyline. But for a self-contained ballpark, I love Citi Field. I've been to a bunch now. I went to Fenway. Unfortunately, my trip to Fenway was long before cell phones and smartphones were cell phones were a thing. Never mind smartphones. So camera, and it was a trip on the spur of the moment. So cameras were not really a thing. If we had thought about it, first of all, we had decided to go to Boston on the spur of a moment, and then decided to scalp tickets for a Red Sox game at the spur of a moment. How do we play baseball in CNC? But the Roberto Clemente Bridge. What's really cool is, in Pittsburgh. Actually, Pittsburgh's also one of the greatest things in Pittsburgh is if you're coming from south of the city, up I-79, going through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, and then coming out and seeing the skyline immediately in front of you, and then just to the left offset is the other side of the river where you've got PNC Park, and then whatever the hell the name of the Steelers stadium. As beautiful as PNC Park is, the Steelers football stadium is a barren wasteland. I don't know who designed that, but oh my goodness. I so wanted to go see a game in the Oakland Coliseum, see the A's, but again, I couldn't even get a Giants game in, never mind an A's game in. And now there's no base. I was like, and then I decided, all right, well, I can hold off till they get a new ballpark, and well, that didn't happen. So who knows? It used to be Heinz Field. It's not. I don't think it's Heinz Field anymore. I honestly don't think it's been Heinz Field for a while. I just can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I mean, well, Three Rivers. I had Three Rivers, I had no desire to go to Three Rivers. That was and that was before my ballpark tour started. But I mean, Three Rivers was Three Rivers Riverfront Stadium. Shea Stadium was one of them, and Veterans, and even Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was the same thing. They were all the circular cookie cutter ballparks. For the longest time, the biggest difference was that Shea Stadium was grass field. It was the only one that was grass field the entire time, natural grass, which is great because I couldn't stand the old artificial turf. I'm still not a fan of turf. Is that what the Steelers Stadium is called now? Acrisure. Sounds like a geriatric food formula. It may just be a geriatric food form. But yeah, I mean, I remember watching games on TV, especially back in the black and white days, especially when it'd be either the Phillies or the Reds having a home game, and you couldn't tell whether they were in Cincinnati or and St. Louis. Old Bush Memorial was the same, was the cookie cutter. Yeah, Bush at least had the arch type thing on top, which is what kind of gave it at least some character. Shea had the open air on the one side. It wasn't fully enclosed, and had the big ass massive scoreboard, which for somebody who kept the book while they were watching a ball game, that would be me, was an amazing thing. It was perfect for that. But yeah, if you go to see a game, Curtis, if you make it to see a game in Pittsburgh, try to schedule it when Cleveland is also at home, because Cleveland is only 2 hours from Pittsburgh. I made that trip on one of my trips out there. I found out the Mets were playing in Cleveland, and I went out. Cleveland is nice. It's a cool little. It's a nice ballpark. It's good seats. At least at the time, it was good seats available, and they were cheap. I sat right behind home plate, and I enjoyed every minute of it until Matt Harvey forgot how to pitch again, and well, there was that. Hey, Keith, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, but I've been to Fenway Park, sat in the bleachers, so I didn't quite get the full Green Monster effect. It was oh my goodness, it was the Red Sox and I want to say the Blue Jays, and the late Tim Wakefield was pitching for the Red Sox, so I got to see a knuckleballer in action, which was interesting. It was also before the Red Sox really got good again, so the crowd was not what I would have thought a Red Sox crowd would be. And I was sitting in the bleachers wearing Mets garb, and nobody hassled me whatsoever. And at the time, Bill Buckner was only 9 years in the past, so I'd love to hit more hockey arenas just because I love hockey and I love watching hockey live. A hockey arena is never going to grab me the way, be at a hockey arena. And really, honestly, even pro football stadiums, they're not going to grab me the way a baseball stadium will. Honestly, the only thing that comes even remotely close to grabbing me the way and it's still a distant second. I love soccer. I'm a big soccer nut. I'm old enough to I saw the New York Cosmos when the original version of the New York Cosmos. It was a few years after Pele had called it quits on his career, but there was still, the number of international stars that were still playing on that team was something. This was this was in 1982, I believe. And Franz Beckenbauer, one of the greatest players of all time, was still in the middle of that defense, and Giorgio Canaglia and Carlos Alberto, Eskandarian, the laundry list of international stars playing for that club. But yeah, soccer grounds, football grounds are kind of a close, really not so close. It's the only other one that really feels thing, because all of the other stadium arena type things, it's more about fan experience it's only big in terms of the fan experience while you're there. So, I'm sure that I will have a lot of thoughts about different hockey arenas if I go to them. But once I'm sitting on the ice, once I'm sitting down in my seat, you're not, other than, how loud the crowd is, you're not going to notice it. There's not much there. You're still staring at, you're still staring at a rink that is more or less going to look like every other rink there is. You know, the fact that baseball stadiums are not all the same size, shape, dimensions in any way, shape, or form alone puts them, past anything else. It's just it is a completely it's a completely different beast. But I mean, it's just I do love baseball stadiums. I've been to a bunch of them. Cleveland was great. Miami was surprisingly good. The Miami Arena was surprisingly good. It would help. It would help if they had a team worth mentioning, though they do torture my Mets, or my Mets decide to torture themselves repeatedly while they're there. Hey, Chris, good to see you. But Miami, they do wonders. I would prefer the roof be open more often, but it's very expensive to open and close that roof. So when in doubt, they keep the roof closed. But their climate control is second to none. I have not yet made it to any of the Chicago stadiums. Before I was planning on it, and then COVID hit, and health started becoming an issue. And right now, it's just impossible for me to deal with sitting in a stadium seat. It wasn't easy beforehand. Now it's like just damn near impossible. So, Chicago was on my list because I was looking to try to do the two Chicago stadiums, as well as Milwaukee in one trip. That would have been the goal. Because I was trying to knock as many of them out. I still have not been to any of the I've not been to any of the California stadiums. That was another one where I actually had an in terms of like some place to stay and whatever for doing the Padres, Angels, and Dodgers if I could figure out a week where they were all going to be around. But I had been to both Texas stadiums, and then they went down and, they went and built a new Ranger stadium. So, yeah, I mean, I can say I've been to a ballpark in Arlington. I just haven't been to the current ballpark in Arlington. I don't even know what the newest one is called. But yeah, I was disappointed by the one in Houston. It was Minute Maid Park back then. I'm not sure what it's called now. I miss when ballparks kept their names for, 30, 40 years or never changed, Amazingly enough, I have not been down to Philly for a ball game. I don't know how that has happened, but I've never been to Philly for a game, not to Veterans. I've been I've been to the arena for concerts. I've been to I've been to the old Spectrum for indoor soccer of all things. But I have not been to Philly for a baseball game. So I need to I want to mark that off. I need to do the National Stadium, and I have been to Baltimore. I did do Camden Yards. Camden Yards was fantastic. It was, I don't know if it was Cal Ripken's last season or the season before it. Fun fact, I should have been at Cal Ripken's last game. Unfortunately, the year of Cal Ripken's last game ended up being the year of 9/11, and the game at Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium where they're supposed to play, ended up not being the last game of the season after all. So, there's that. Where else have I been? I think I'm missing something somewhere, and I'm not sure what. It said Boston, Baltimore. I've been to the new Yankee Stadium. The year it opened. It's big. That's as much as I'll give you. It is large. I mean, I've been to obviously the old Yankee Stadium and then Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium was the stadium of my youth. But yeah, no. A lot of baseball talk. But yeah. Oh, man, I love sports. I just, between this and the world, just being able to discuss the World Cup at work has been a lot of fun. We've got a feisty little group there discussing the game. Though can't wait for the club start again. It's I've every time the World Cup comes up, I struggle with it because FIFA as an organization is so freaking corrupt. It's even before the politicians get involved, and of course, the politicians had to get themselves involved this time. But it is so ridiculously corrupt. I honestly was not looking forward to it. Yeah, but I get that, but it's like it's getting worse. It's not. They're not even subtle about it anymore. Between the whole the games in Russia, then Qatar, and that whole absolute shit show. And what drives me crazy is this one should have been the slam dunk. This one should have been the easy. We're not, we're going to minimize all the issues, but no, of course not. Just because the U.S. is like singularly set up to host the World Cup. I mean, it's cool that Canada and Mexico are co-hosting. Oh, the hydration breaks. Yeah, it is such an desperately obvious ploy to make more money. But for the U.S. is like singularly set up to run and host an event like this. Like Mexico and Canada could have dropped out of co-hosting, though them co-hosting was basically the only reason we were. They gave us the World Cup to start with. They seriously could have decided to just drop out because of for whatever reason, and they wouldn't have missed a beat. I mean, there are so many stadiums in the U.S. that could host World Cup games. With like 3 months notice. That 82. Is it because of the fact that BMO is not large enough? How did that happen? Because that was the part I didn't understand. The 94 games broke like every single attendance record. The 94 games broke every single attendance record at the time, with the exception of single seating, with the exception of single game attendance, and that's only because the Brazilians built the most massive stadium one could ever think of, only to watch them lose the final in 1950. But yeah, it's I mean, it's just absurd. Yeah, 1952, 200,000 people being absolutely quiet when they lost the final. I mean, the closest you come here is as if they played the final at the Big House in Michigan. I mean, it's absurd. Especially now with the soccer-specific stadiums, though most of them really, I mean, they're too small to host. The soccer-specific stadiums here are all in the 25,000 range. It's just, well, I mean, but yeah, the idea was that they made it a 200,000 person stadium specifically for the the home team to be crowned champions again, and oops, that didn't go according to plan. Uh, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, bad things happen to the Brazilian team when they bad things happen to the Brazilian squad when they're hosting on home we call it home turf, because that 7-1 pasting by Germany, which was maybe the most bizarre game I've ever had to watch. I was watching this and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I just never thought I'd watch a Brazil team get beat like that. You know, it was terrible, and it was terrible to the point of being funny, honestly. But yeah, it's just I mean, and then you had Brazil spending money that they didn't have on stadiums that they weren't going to be able to use after the fact. They were not going to be able to have enough usage after the fact. Like, the U.S. like, yeah, we've got 6 stadiums that you can use. Sure, we'll make the minor adjustments. Don't need to build anything. We really don't need to build anything. Just here you go. We'll make we'll make sure that the field is natural grass. We'll take out some seats to make sure that the field is the proper size, and you are good to go. And there'll still be state of the art stadiums. And we're all set. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Qatar was basically, it was effectively slave labor. They were. It wasn't just migrant workers. They were migrant workers that were being held captive because their passports and their visas were being taken away. Yeah. It's just, and I love what the 48 country, the expanded 48 country thing did in terms of enjoyable stories. It had a fantastic impact in terms of the stories that came out of this World Cup. Things like Curacao and Cabo Verde and honestly all the African teams. I mean, what was it? 9 out of 10 African teams made it into the knockout round. I mean, they didn't last very long, but they at least made it to the knockout round. The Asian teams took a heavy step back. Japan was the only Asia team that made it to the knockout round. But there's, so many fantastic stories that came from this World Cup. The problem is they keep it. It added more games to the international schedule. It made the cup itself longer, because now, in addition to the to the group round, you had the expanded knockout rounds, and these players aren't getting a break. I'm looking at Arsenal, and Arsenal still has, as of today's result, Arsenal still has 6 people, I believe. 6 players still in the World Cup. You got Saliba in France. You've got Odegaard in Norway. On England alone, you've got Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Richie Eze, and Noni Madueke. And Spain. They still got they still have 3 people in Spain. I'm sorry. They've got. I mean, granted, David Raya and Martin Zubimendi haven't played, so I don't know if Zubimendi's gotten on field. Raya hasn't. Mikel Merino somehow has more playing time than the other 2. So, at least they're not worn out, though they're still practicing, they're still traveling, they're still not getting any real rest. But they're there. What kind of impact that's you pretty much got a Premier League team starting lineup who is going to come out of this. The World Cup is going to end in what, another week or 2, and then a month later you've got the Community Shield and the league starting up again. Where's their break? They added the Club World Cup, which is, I mean, the Club World Cup always existed because it used to be just really, a small tournament. They expanded the Club World Cup, so all of these clubs, extra clubs, ended up playing in there. Thankfully, I mean, it was one of the things where Arsenal wasn't invited, which was a little bit of an insult, but it also ended up working out great because they all played so many more games than anyone else anyway. Where are they getting these? Yes, they are young, but you cannot go that long, play that many games without all kinds of ridiculous injuries, and it just keeps getting worse. They expanded the Nations League at one point. I don't think it was this year, but who the fuck cares about the Nations League? Does anyone really care? I don't know who it is that supposedly is head over heels in love with the whole Nations League thing. I know I don't care. All right, Jay. I heard someone at work talking about they set the brackets up. Well, kind of, It wasn't just two though, and it isn't even a matter specifically for those two. I'm pretty sure that you're talking about Mbappe and Messi. But what they did was for the brackets that they made sure that the top 4 ranked teams would not face each other until the semifinals at least. So, and yeah, that's going to end up with, I think. I think the semifinals, if their top 4 thing worked as they wanted it to, was going to end up with the semifinals being France and Spain, England and Argentina. England and Argentina itself would be, of massive historical interest. But then, you have the shot at Mbappe and Messi going once again in the finals as a rematch. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. I will wax poetic about it for till the cows come home. It's I love this game. And it's great. It's even better now for me now that I'm so tuned into the club level stuff. So I know these players better. It used to be that I'd go into the World Cup and I'd be discovering a bunch of who the hell these players are. Even for some of the countries I was rooting for, I'd have no real idea. Now it's I know who they are. I know where they play. I know what they do. I know what they're good at, and so on and so forth. Later, Curtis. But it's winding down. So I guess I had been watching up until it was time. I know France was up 2-0, heading into the last 5 minutes, and it finished 2-0. Okay. All right, and then tomorrow, I forgot who's tomorrow. Tomorrow, Spain, Belgium. Yeah. And if it wasn't for the fact that the player got sold, there would have been another Arsenal player involved in that, and that would have been Leo Trossard. So, but Trossard has been sold to a Turkish team, so, yeah, I need my Arsenal players to start, I need to start whittling down those numbers, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Oh, man. Just no more injuries. Declan Rice for England is playing on. I don't know how that man is still standing. What a freaking warrior he is. Whew. But yeah, no, it's a sports weekend, sports week, sports month. And waiting for. I've got another TTRPG that's supposed to be coming in at some point. Where I got the Foundry codes. One of my Kickstarters, Legend in the Mist. If anyone's played City in the Mist, it's made by the same people. I did get to play a little bit of it with the fine folks at Roll for Perception, though we weren't able to play for very long. It seemed like a fun game. I think that's where our party all decided that we were all very much into baked goods for some reason or other. It wasn't supposed to be the focus of the game, but somehow we all decided we had a thing for baked goods, and we were all on a search for fine ingredients and to open our bakery. Because every once in a while, that's what you got to do. Oh man, but yeah, I got to. I've got more games to schedule. That much is certain. And figure out when we're gonna do things, because I still got more work to do on all the other stuff. Oh man, it's been busy. Life's been busy. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is enjoying the reading Geezer Jim's channel. Okay, I'm color me intrigued. Okay, tidbits. Yeah, here it isn't even the heat here. Here it's just humidity. There's always this dampness in the air. I've got dehumidifiers going, trying to keep some of it down, because it's not even warm in my basement. It's actually kind of cool in my basement, and I can still feel myself occasionally breaking out into sweats just because bleh. Oh, very cool. Nice. I need to go through. I've got a lot of digital copies of Dragon magazines. I need to go through and pick out more stuff that I can use and add. I also have a little adventure that Carlos Lysing wrote that takes place in Nyrond, which I might use for Gary Con for one of the sessions at Gary Con, because it's short and brief. Shape shifting house cat races. Oh, okay. I got you. Interesting. Every time I think of house cats, I think of the silliest and one of the most fun TTRPGs I ever played. It was actually on a podcast. Magical Kitties Save the Day. You are basically playing a cat. Cats that have some type of power, and the only rule is you cannot get caught by humans while using that power. Oof. I've got Chris. I've got all I have is two window units upstairs. My basement doesn't need it. My basement just really honestly needs a dehumidifier, because even in the hottest of summer, my basement stays cool. It's not completely underground. It's like half height. Half the height is underground, but it stays cool through the entire summer. It just gets humid down here. But I've got two window units upstairs, and then any doors that I don't need to be open stay closed, and then a couple of ceiling fans. Ceiling fans help keep the air moving, which makes life so much better. Expanded time. I can't. I keep teasing myself that I might try to implement psionics, and I'm like, no, I just don't. I don't want to deal with it. I really don't. Interesting stuff. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Animals and animal shapeshifters and stuff like that can make for a fun time. It does add complexities, and then then there's the fact that you already have the wear races and such, which I've already integrated into some of my games. But yeah, nice. That's interesting stuff, Wolf. I wonder if, do you know if that's something that you can do with every ceiling fan, or what did you do, did you just change the slats so that they're facing the other way? So there's mine are really kind of flat, so I don't know if that would work. Huh. I'm going to need to take a look, because that would be interesting. That would be really, really interesting. One position for summer and one for winter. Okay. Today I learned. I knew that. I think I knew somewhere in the back of my head that fans were reversible. I did not realize that this was a common thing, though. I knew that some of them had it, but I did not realize that this was a very, very common thing. In any case, and just a reminder that Friday Night Crusades for tomorrow night is we are not having Friday Night Crusades tomorrow night. We will continue next week. Because tomorrow will be a travel day. And yeah, next week things are going to heat up. We the Sons of Cayuse storyline is coming to a head. And it's very, very possible that the small little town outpost of Griffin's Crossing may end up in a bit of trouble. That's interesting stuff, Excel. Thank you for sharing. All right. I'm going to be closing the giveaway momentarily. We do have 5 entries. Exclamation point ticket. So far, I've got Touch of Evil. I've got Roger, GDR TFB 1995, Ice 23, and it's Jim K. Bones. So if you are not currently in that list, please do enter. And then we will be raiding into Lord Gazumba. I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Listen to me blather on about, World Cup and travel and baseball stadiums. Because, I do love such things. And like I said, the title of this week's stream is dedicated to, unfortunately, we lost the amazing Bonnie Tyler today. So, yeah, holding out for a hero. Oof, what a day. Gotta save your RNG for Jay's Saturday stream. Oh, man. My luck in Jay's games has run kind of cold. There was a time where I was really lucky in Jay's games. I still win occasionally, but not nearly with the frequency that I used to. All right, I'm going to be closing the giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing the giveaway now. And yeah, why did it say close the giveaway, but it's not giving me the... There we go, draw one. Drawing a winner. Keith! Congratulations. All right, I will get that out to you. Hang out for the raid, everybody. We will be heading to Lord Gazumba. I do have a raid emote if you are so inclined. Feel free to use it. And let's get that raid started. There we go. We're raiding Lord Gazumba in 4, 3, 2, 1. See you all on the flip side. Have a great weekend. See you next week.